How to keep your heart healthy after 60, cardiologist approved. A few years back, I had the chance to sit down with a cardiologist, a seasoned expert who'd spent decades studying the human heart. At one point in our conversation, he leaned forward, his eyes sharp with conviction, and shared something that flipped my perspective upside down. Far too many people over 60 assume heart disease is inevitable, an unavoidable part of aging. But here's the truth. With just a handful of simple habit changes, you can keep your heart strong and thriving for decades longer than you might expect. His words weren't just optimism. They were backed by years of patient success stories and cutting-edge research. What struck me most was how approachable his advice was. No expensive treatments, no complicated regimens, just practical steps anyone could take. He boiled it down to 3 powerful, cardiologist-approved secrets that can transform your heart health after 60. I've since explored these ideas deeply, tested them in my own life, and dug into the science behind them. Let me walk you through each one, step by step, with all the details you need to make them work for you, because your heart deserves to beat strong and steady for years to come. Secret 1. Don't overlook this exercise. It could add years to your life. When you think about keeping your heart healthy, what comes to mind? Maybe it's pounding the pavement with a grueling run, sweating it out in a high-intensity gym session, or pushing yourself through a cardio class that leaves you breathless. If that's your picture, you're not alone, but according to this cardiologist, you're missing the mark. People assume intense workouts are the gold standard for heart health, but that's a big misconception, he told me with a knowing smile. For those over 60, overdoing it can strain joints, spike stress hormones, and even overburden an aging heart. Instead, he pointed to a gentler, more sustainable hero: brisk walking. Yes, something as simple as walking, done right, can be a game changer. The cardiologist explained that 20 to 30 minutes of brisk walking each day can slash your risk of stroke and heart attack by up to 35%. That's not a guess. It's backed by solid evidence, like a landmark study from the American Heart Association that tracked thousands of older adults. Those who walked briskly, fast enough to feel your heart pump but not so fast you can't talk, saw dramatic drops in cardiovascular events compared to their sedentary peers. Why does it work so well? Brisk walking steadies blood pressure by encouraging blood vessels to relax, boosts circulation to deliver oxygen-rich blood where it's needed, and strengthens your heart muscle without pushing it past its limits. It's like a daily tune-up for your ticker, keeping it running smoothly without the wear and tear of high-impact exercise. The best part? You don't need a fancy gym membership or pricey gear, just a pair of comfy shoes and a commitment to move. The cardiologist shared a story of a 67-year-old patient, a retired teacher who'd never been athletic. She started walking her neighborhood each morning, 30 minutes around the block, waving to neighbors, soaking in the fresh air. Within 3 months, her blood pressure dropped from borderline high to normal, and her energy soared. I decided to try it myself, lacing up my sneakers for a daily stroll through a nearby park. At first, I aimed for 20 minutes, picking up my pace until I felt that satisfying heartbeat rhythm. Now, it's a non-negotiable 30-minute ritual, sometimes with a podcast, sometimes just the sound of birds, and I've noticed my stamina climbing and my stress melting away. To make it even better, he suggested small tweaks. Walk on varied terrain, hills or trails, to challenge your heart gently, or swing your arms to engage more muscles. If 30 minutes feels daunting, start with 10 and build up. Consistency trumps intensity here. For those over 60, when joint health and recovery slow, this low-impact gem is a gift, proof you don't need to run a marathon to live longer. Could a daily walk be your heart's new best friend? Secret 2. The diet mistake weakening your heart without you realizing it. Next, the cardiologist turned to something we all deal with daily: food. Most people think protecting their heart means cutting fat, and only fat, he said, shaking his head. That's a half-truth that's led millions astray. For decades, fat's been the villain: butter, cheese, red meat, all demonized as heart attack culprits. But here's the surprising twist he revealed. The real danger isn't fat itself, it's sugar and processed junk sneaking into your diet. While everyone's busy dodging cholesterol, these hidden enemies are quietly sabotaging your heart, and most of us don't even notice until it's too late. The science is eye-opening. A study in the Journal of the American Medical Association found that excess sugar doubles your risk of heart disease, twice as much as saturated fat in some cases. Sugar spikes inflammation, clogging arteries with plaque, and floods your blood with triglycerides, a type of fat linked to heart attacks. Processed foods, think white bread, sugary cereals, packaged snacks, are just as bad, stripping nutrients and pumping in sodium that jacks up blood pressure. Meanwhile, healthy fats, like the monounsaturated kind in avocados, olive oil, and nuts, actually protect your heart, lowering bad cholesterol, LDL, and raising the good stuff, HDL. A 2020 circulation report showed that swapping processed carbs for these fats cut heart disease risk by 25% in older adults. The cardiologist's advice was clear and actionable. Rethink your plate. Load it with heart-loving foods, dark leafy greens like spinach and kale, packed with antioxidants, whole grains like oats and quinoa, fiber to sweep arteries clean, and good fats from almonds, walnuts, or a drizzle of extra virgin olive oil. Then, cut the culprits, ditch sugary sodas, limit desserts to once a week, and swap processed snacks for fresh fruit. He told me about a 64-year-old patient who'd lived on frozen dinners and cola. His cholesterol was sky high, and his energy tanked. After switching to grilled salmon, steamed broccoli, and a handful of nuts daily, his numbers normalized in 6 months. No meds needed. I took this to heart, pun intended. I used to grab a sugary pastry for breakfast. Quick, tasty, but a ticking time bomb. Now, I blend a smoothie with spinach, berries, and a spoonful of almond butter, or cook oats with a splash of olive oil and seeds. Dinners swapped processed sauces for homemade veggie stir-fries. Within weeks, I felt lighter, sharper, and my last checkup showed my blood pressure dipping. The cardiologist's golden rule? If it's from a plant or close to nature, it's probably good. If it's from a factory, think twice. Could your diet be silently stressing your heart? And could a few swaps turn it around? Secret 3. A simple exercise to steady your heartbeat and melt stress in just 60 seconds. The third secret was a surprise. A quick, anywhere trick that doesn't involve sweat or equipment. Stress and an erratic heartbeat go hand in hand, especially after 60, the cardiologist explained. This little exercise can fix both in a minute flat. He introduced me to the 4-7-8 breathing technique, a method so simple it sounds too good to be true, but it's rooted in science and proven by his patients. Here's how it goes. Inhale through your nose for 4 seconds, hold your breath for 7 seconds, then exhale slowly through your mouth for 8 seconds, letting the air whoosh out. Repeat this cycle twice a day, or anytime stress spikes, and watch your heart and mind settle. Why does it work? The cardiologist broke it down. That long, controlled exhale triggers your parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest mode that counters stress's fight or flight rush. It slows your heart rate, drops blood pressure, and washes away cortisol, the stress hormone that stiffens arteries over time. A study in the Journal of Hypertension found that regular 4-7-8 breathing lowered blood pressure by 4 to 6 millimeters of mercury in older adults. Small numbers with big impact, cutting heart strain significantly. Plus, it's a mental reset, quieting the chatter that keeps you up at night worrying about tomorrow. He'd seen it transform lives. A 61-year-old woman, frazzled by caregiving, used to feel her heart race daily. After a week of 4-7-8, she slept better and felt calmer. I tried it myself during a hectic workday. Sitting at my desk, I closed my eyes, breathed 4-7-8, and in 1 minute, my jitters faded, my pulse eased. Now, I do it morning and night, 2 cycles each time, and it's like a mini vacation for my heart. The cardiologist suggested pairing it with a quiet space or soft music for extra oomph, and starting with practice sessions to nail the rhythm. For anyone over 60, when stress and heart rhythm issues creep up, this is a pocket-sized lifesaver. Could 60 seconds really steady your heart and your life? Putting it all together, a heart-healthy life after 60. If you embrace these 3 habits, the cardiologist said, his voice warm with certainty, your heart will thank you for the rest of your life. Brisk walking builds a stronger pump, a smarter diet fuels it right, and 478 keeps it calm. Together, they're a triple threat against heart disease. He'd watched patients defy the odds. A 66-year-old man, once winded climbing stairs, now hikes trails after daily walks. A 62-year-old baker ditched sugar-heavy recipes and reversed early heart warning signs. You can't turn back time, he admitted, but you can give your heart a fighting chance every day. To supercharge these tips, he tossed in extras. Sip water all day, dehydration strains your heart. Aim for 7 to 8 hours of sleep, rest repairs arteries, and laugh often, it boosts circulation. I wove them into my routine: walks after breakfast, veggie-packed lunches, breathing breaks before bed, even a comedy night with friends. Months later, my doctor marveled at my stats. Lower cholesterol, steadier pulse, all from small shifts. If they worked for me, and hundreds of his patients, why not you? Imagine this: a decade from now, you're still climbing stairs, chasing grandkids, savoring life with a heart that's strong and sure. Start today, lace up for a walk, swap sugar for nuts, breathe 478 tonight. Your heart's ready to thrive, are you?